squish. Cicero. Pop, sit, squish. Cicero. Pop, sit, squish. Cicero. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Pop, sit, squish. Cicero. You know how people have these little habits that get you down? Like Bernie. Bernie liked to chew gum. No, not chew. Pop. So I came home this Monday and I'm really irritated and I'm looking for a little bit of sympathy. And there's Bernie, lying on the couch, having a beer and chewing. No, not chewing, popping. So I said to him, I said, Bernie, you pop that gum one more time. And he did. So I took the shotgun off the wall and I fired 2 warning shots into his head. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. I met Ezekiel Young from Salt Lake City about 2 years ago, and he told me he was single. So we hit it off right away. We started living together. He'd go to work, he'd come home. I'd mix him a drink, we'd have dinner. And it was like heaven in 2.5 rooms. So, he'd go to work, he'd come home.
I'd fix him a
drink as usual. And, some guys just can't hold their arsenic.
Sorry. Turn around.
He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Now, I'm standing in the kitchen, carving up the chicken for dinner, minding my own business. And in storms my husband Wilbur in a jealous rage. You've been seeing the milkman, he said. He was crazy. He kept on screaming and screaming, you've been seeing the milkman. And then he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. Mi kérske, most mondják questo lehetok viermi. De nem agaz. Én natoslan vagyok. Nem tudom. Mert majanko szemkon indantam. Roboto. A rendesen kell mesmerizni. De nevetavek mert.
Yeah, but did you do it?
Not guilty. My sister Veronica and I had this double act, and my husband Charlie traveled around with us. Now, for the last summer in our act, we did these 20 acrobatic tricks in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, splits, spread eagles, flip-flops, backflips, one right after the other. Well, this one night, we were in Cicero, the 3 of us, staying up in a hotel room, boozing, having a few laughs. We ran out of ice, so I went to go get some. I come back, open the door, there's Veronica and Charlie, doing number 17, the spread eagle. Well, I was in such a state of shock, I completely blacked out. I can't remember a thing. It wasn't until later when I washed the blood off my hands, I even knew they were dead. Let it come in. You'd have been there. If you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same. They had it coming. They had it coming. They had it coming. They had it coming. He took a flower in his pride. And then they used it. And they abused it. Was a turner, but not a rhyme.
I loved Adam Lipschitz more than I can possibly say. He was a real artistic guy, sensitive, a painter, but he was troubled. He would always try to find himself. And one night he found Ruth, Gladys, Rosemary, and Irvin. I guess you can say we broke up because of artistic differences. He saw himself as alive, and I saw him dead. And I saw him really, really dead.
Dirty bum, 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 bum. The dirty bum, 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 bum. They had it coming. They had it coming. They had it coming. They had it coming. They only had themselves to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet 17 to spread.
I bet
you would have done the same.
Black